So we have copies of the mandala, the outline of the mandala practice for anybody who needs one. It's part of the overall outline that was passed out earlier. But if you don't have that, then this is the outline for the moment. And if you have one at home and you don't need it, you can just give it back, and I'll just tuck it in here for future reference. But I wanted to go through, we sort of went through one, you could say just an introduction to some of the ways that you could kind of hold the sense of the outer offering, the idealized universe. Including that aspect of sometimes turning the attention, while not abandoning that, but sometimes turning to the question of just looking back at the awareness, looking back and see who offers in the middle of that. If we go back into the practice, another dimension of it, and this is one that the notion of actually holding on to the universe is not something we don't usually list that as one of our attachments. Am I attached to the universe? Oh no, I don't have any. I'm not clinging to that. It's just sort of happening. It's going on about its business, and it's been reasonably nice enough to me to allow this world to exist with the proper amount of gravity and some oxygen, and I get to breathe and all this stuff. But I'm not attached to the universe. And so there's it. But so we've gone from this point of view of this, our letting go of this attachment to a vision of the universe and a vision of ideals. And then there's another piece, the piece where we usually think about generosity or offering, something that we definitely think, I remember where I bought it, I remember how much it cost me, and it's mine. But I will overcome this gravitational field of greed and give it. That there's some place in there that's more the territory where we usually think of generosity offering, giving something that I have, something that's mine. And that's usually where we have some very immediate, if we put all the things in there. So if we go back into the space where the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are present, and we're imagining the whole universe there, and then we start to look at kind of our corner, even just to think about it, it's like my yard and my house and my stuff, and we go into there and we think about offering. And again, just the same kind of basic question is there that is relevant for our sense of the idealized world. We've tried to approximate some little corner of an ideal environment by arranging our lives, arranging our possessions and our relationships in a kind of idealized little corner. But the same thing is true when we ask the question, would holding on to an idealized universe, is that better than enlightenment? Would I let it go for enlightenment? Would I actually offer it? In the same way we can look, and we can look at our own life. I mean, we can look at individual things that we have, that we treasure. And also have that overall sense of, oh, this is my kind of my, you could say my nest. This is the kind of the comfortable microenvironment that I've cultivated. All the possessions, the things that we have, the relationships that we have, it's somewhat less challenging, though it's still challenging to think of letting go of material wealth and resources. But just going through those things and imagining offering, just that we're holding the idealized universe, and in there, within that, we have our own little micro-universe, our personal universe of things. And imagine offering each element in it. We also have all the relationships that we depend on, that we feel are necessary for our well-being, that we hold. It's not so much that we value them as that you could say we place a burden for our well-being on these relationships, in that sense. We hold. Offering. So the field in which we're offering is always, there's the presence of the enlightened ones, that sense of the presence, the immanence of enlightenment, the presence of enlightened beings is really key in when we come down to this. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, it's almost like, oh, how much of a net loss can I tolerate? And when we think about the four immeasurables and the immeasurable joy, and that sense of rejoicing or resonating with virtuous activity, with good things that create favorable circumstances, we can think of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas appreciating and resonating with our offering, with our letting go, with our discovering kind of the deeper well-being, the dignity and well-being that doesn't depend upon, doesn't require, does not burden others, does not burden the physical environment. And then there's getting closer to home, our own body. Which is so tightly wrapped up in our sense of identity, our sense of being something. So offering even our body, letting go. letting go of the dream of all of this. Letting go of the perspective of neediness. And again, we can turn, sometimes just rest, looking at who's offering, who's letting go. We also offer all our karma, all our merit, all our virtue. Here it gets back to that sense of offering without any sense of expectation or result. We're not hoping for an outcome in this. So here we have, just in offering the dreamlike appearance, all we take to be my environment, my relationships. The dreamlike appearance of the ideals, idealized environment. The dreamlike sense of control that we have by thinking we understand how everything works. Or the ideal that we might have of feeling assured and in control by knowing how it all works. Offering over and over again. And it's good at times just to take a moment in the midst of practice. It's not like a formal dissolution, but it's just a formal, complete letting go. And that's an offering of sometimes so many fancy words, things like suchness, tathagata, just offering Buddha nature, offering realization. Realization without any clinging, without any sense of my realization, my insight. And again, the dissolution. meditation, as always. By this virtue, may I quickly realize Mahamudra and establish all beings without exception in that state. You're welcome.